I want to talk about the thieves of our dreams today, which are hesitation, fear of failure, fear of success, self-doubt, procrastination, self-loathing. And where do they all stem from? And they do create stress in our body. Usually it's to do with our automatic negative thoughts. You know, the inner critic that's been programmed into us. When we have about 60,000 thoughts a day and consciously, so the mind can run up to 11 million thoughts per second subconsciously. We're not even going to catch those. But the rumination and the thinking that reoccurs, and when up to 90% of our thoughts are the same every day, and most of it consists of automatic negative thoughts. It's like a bad boss standing behind you going like, why didn't you? Why shouldn't you? This is what they think of us. Judgment, criticism, and that gets us to the place where we feel stuck, where we find ourselves to be in overwhelm and we can't take action. So what usually helps is, and try this with me, just close your eyes and take a deep breath and come into your body and just observe the thoughts that go on. Just take in that stress. Notice the emotion that comes up for you with it. It might be suppressed anger, it might be grief, it might be anxiety or sadness. Notice what comes up and don't suppress it. Feel into it. The way through fear, the way through any emotion is to feel it fully until the end. But that's not usually something we've been thought to do in our lives, because most of the adults walking around that can't handle our emotions, and so we learn to suppress them and learn to suppress parts of ourselves. When we constrict and don't feel our emotions fully, we get stuck. That's where the mind takes over and starts generating the overwhelm, the anxiety, the stuckness, the procrastination. And then we look for the way out, because that's what we practiced and rehearsed most of our lives doing. We go for the phone, or we go for a cigarette, or maybe a glass of wine or a drink. The only way through is to embrace the emotion, be with it, accept it fully, cry, whatever the body wants to do, because the emotion is created in the body. You rehearse feeling through the emotion. What you might realize is the overwhelm disappears. From my personal experience, after having 5 losses in a row over the span of 4 years, the stacked grief, I found myself in self-beating thoughts. Why aren't I doing enough? I found myself in overwhelm, in stuckness. And although I've studied neuroscience, brain health, many different things, nervous system work, it's one thing to know the theory, but to actually, I invite you to sit and be with your emotions. And the moment I did, I accepted the grief, I cried, and you go through the emotion until you actually feel it dissolves. And not from a place to create more thoughts, to keep the emotion going, but to fully accept it, to fully feel it, to surrender to it, to welcome it. And from there, usually a spaciousness opens up, something new can emerge. And you find yourself in a place where you don't have to do to-do lists to get going again and get out of that overwhelm. You just naturally get a spark of creativity back, spark of drive. And you get to create again. And you get to relax and get out of the stress. With a caveat of noticing if the stress is actually negatives, because sometimes it can be positive and it helps us to build the muscle we want to build or get stronger. But when you find yourself stuck in overwhelm, self-critical, judging, blaming, then behind it is usually an emotion that you're avoiding feeling. So my invitation is, don't just believe what I'm saying, go test it on yourself. Because we've all become such good learners, and here on YouTube as well, we get more hacks and we kind of feel satisfied because the dopamine is giving us the satisfaction of gaining more knowledge. But transformation actually happens when we apply the knowledge, when we step into the uncomfortable, and that's my invitation to you. Thank you for listening. If this was in resonance with you, to you, please subscribe and follow my channel for neuroscience, ancient wisdom, experience, entailed content that's here for you to create a better life, to enjoy life with more playfulness and ease, and help you remember who you really are and come back home to yourself.